the Nerd Show. Podcast Radio. She's a nerd, he's a nerd, talking about what we know. Nerd Podcast Radio. We're all nerds, we're all nerds. Buckle up, cause here we go. Nerd Podcast Radio. Welcome everybody to the Nerd Podcast Radio. Welcome everybody to the Nerd Podcast Radio.
Welcome to Nerd Podcast Radio, your nerd home away from home.
Welcome to Nerd Podcast Radio. I'm your host, Super Big and Brian. I'm joined by Stolas.
What's up?
David.
Hi, everybody.
Erica.
Hola.
This is a no-nonsense episode because Erica's not feeling well, so I am not teasing, making up nicknames, and more fittingly, the episode is going to be a little short.
Oh, Jesus. Of course.
Like, way to call her out, man.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, I was muted for that. I'm so dumb. I literally was saying, yeah, the episode's going to have to be short, guys, because Eric is sick. It's all Erica's fault.
I mean, it makes sense. Erica is short.
All along.
Episode short. I mean, makes sense.
I haven't watched any of Agatha All Along yet. Is it good?
Oh, yeah, it was really good.
I haven't watched
I
any
very
of
much
it.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Okay, now I kind of want to check it out because
You're
Erica
not
tries
a-
to.
You don't count, Stolas. You never see anything.
Oh.
That's not true. I saw. Oh, I'll keep that to myself because that's my nerdy thing.
Mm.
What? Oh, okay. Let's do nerdy thing, and then we'll do a little like, what are we watching? What are we reading? And then we'll do the topic. So we're gonna talk about the winter and how you can operate in the winter and not necessarily be an indoor kid. Like, what do we do in the winter? I am very happy Erica is here for this because, David.
But first.
No, but because I was going to do the whole California thing. But
Fine. I wasn't stopping you. You stopped talking.
No, I said because, so you could explain it. I was thinking, yes, and all that.
Yeah, so Stolas and
love
I
you
are
guys.
from a part of the world that doesn't really get winter. When you think
What
of
is this?
winter,
What is this winter? We get
So-
we get like spring. Our
It gets a
winter is
little
like
chilly.
your spring.
it gets a little chilly. But
I
you
made
think
the
about
mi-
it.
I made the mistake of planning the topics from my perspective and didn't think. And
So
then
that happens if
this
you move to
morning,
where the white shit falls.
I realized it and was like, Erica, I really need Erica for this topic because it's colder there. So
Yeah,
there's
he,
a little
he,
bit
he
more
dragged her
Hermione.
out of her sick bed
So-
to come on the show.
We're going to be
Actually,
talking about this.
Actually,
Yes.
our winter is like wherever you are. Our winter's like your fall.
No,
No,
it's not.
no.
I've lived in both places. It's really like spring.
I
It
think this
really,
is.
really is.
I was right the first time.
I think this is
Yeah.
going to be a really great topic. It was going to be talking about more like the differences between the seasons, between where people live. But first,
Haha, there it is.
But first, we're going to play everybody's favorite game, What's Nerdy with You, where we all talk about the nerdiest thing we've done in the last 2 weeks and vote using the patented Mike Myler widget system.
I think there's something wrong with the recording. It's a little gravelly.
Now you
We're going to have
you,
to record a new one.
You left the sick filter on.
I love how
Eric-
we expected this person to still do the preamble. Like
I
I know
didn't.
what's expected of
I
me.
just said, but first, I don't really expect any specific person to do it. Oh,
All right, well, I know what I'm going to do next time. Hee hee.
I have a cat on the bed and a whiny dog trying to get the cat off the bed. Hold on. I'm going to mute real quick.
You could just pause. Okay. You could have paused. Just
The
saying.
bird is screaming. The bird is screaming in the other room. I'm going to go first, and Erica's going to go last.
Okay, Brian, what's nerdy with you?
I did two things. One, I actually had Halloween plans for the first time in a long time.
that's cool.
I hope the bird doesn't show up on the recording. He's just a fire alarm right now behind me.
I don't hear anything,
can't
so it's
hear
probably
him.
fine.
So
Okay.
it's fine.
I'm having trouble
I heard that.
concentrating.
Okay, I hear it occasionally.
Yeah, I'm having trouble concentrating. He's just
Then
going.
pause it, go
off.
deal with your pets, and we can cut this shit out.
No, it's fine. So we actually did Halloween stuff this year and went to a local art collective did like a pirate event, and it was like rum tasting, and they had like a ghost that gave you a quest. We went, I got a little obsessed with completing the riddle, and finally was like, this thing is too complicated. I'm not going to get it. And we were like, we had fun. Let's get going. And I was going to give our coins to some kids because they give you coins for like drink tickets and like the activities and stuff. Like you can play dice and do like take a picture with a big ass snake.
Okay,
There were
that
all
sounds
sorts of cool. Yeah, it was really cool. The giant lizard was like the highlight. I don't know what kind of lizard it was. It looked like a big fat monitor. It was like 4 feet long, weighed about 60 pounds. It was like insane.
Nice.
So we went, I went to give the coins to some kids, and then I went, okay, you're Brian. You're not going to be able to leave here until you complete this damn puzzle. You have to find the stupid key that the ghost needs. And I stood there for a second and I went, okay, if I'm designing this puzzle, I'm not making a puzzle that's clever. I'm making a puzzle to occupy kids so they'll run around while their parents do rum tasting. So where would the key be? So I walked into the room with the ghost, picked the key off the table next to the ghost and said, is this the key? And the ghost said, yes.
Nice.
It was a really complicated riddle. It was like you had to like go to places and hold up treasure maps and match X's to the wall and then find all this symbolism. And I got really frustrated like I do in D&D and was like, okay, wait, let's just use stone shape on the door.
I can logic my way out of this one.
And then the second thing I did was I had a 1 hour conversation with Lee on their birthday and bought them Slay the Princess on Steam.
Nice.
And I literally said the words, is this game appropriate? Like, what's it rated? And Lee goes, I'm 17. It doesn't matter.
I mean, they have a fair point. Lee has a very fair point.
I looked at the game. It seemed okay. It's scary game.
Not scary.
Yeah.
All right. Stolas, what's nerdy with you?
Okay, so first off, this isn't my major nerdy thing. I'm just saying I pledged to my first Kickstarter. I realized it was my first Kickstarter because I hadn't even made a Kickstarter account.
Sweet.
The Trench Crusade, they came out with their Kickstarter, so I pledged to
very
it.
Cool.
So there's that. But the really nerdy thing I did is I saw the movie, I saw the TV Glow, and it broke me. It broke me hardcore to the point that I really want to do a video essay on it. So I've watched it 3 times, and I have a notebook, and I've been taking notes on it.
I've never even heard of it, so
It's good. When Lee and Chris went and saw it in theaters, I had to watch Ruin, but I heard it was really good.
It's extraordinarily good. Like,
okay, that literally tells me absolutely nothing about it. What is it?
I don't want to tell you a lot because it's one of those things that you should go in blind to see, I think. At least the first time.
It's something about people watching a TV show that ends up being more than a TV show. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you.
It's really a movie. Yeah, you really should go in as blind as possible.
Okay.
It has a lot of we're talking about the movie. I saw the TV Glow. Brian was asking. It has a lot of queer themes. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I want to do a video essay on it because it like really like touched me on like a very personal level. It was very meaningful. I cried a lot. It made me cry a lot. Lots of crying. It's very good if you haven't seen it. But that's been my nerdy thing. Watching a movie multiple times and actually like engaging in like film analysis. A thing I've never done, oddly enough. Weird. Me, the person who never watches movies, doesn't do film analysis.
I think you could have ended with I watched a movie, and that would have gotten you the nerdy thing.
So, David, what did you do?
Well, I had a couple of things this last week or so.
Yeah, let me just give some context to the listeners who don't know that we have a running gag on the show where we all talk about some show or movie, and it's like an iconic movie from history, and Stolas is like, never seen it.
Yeah,
Here, let me give you a good example. This October is the first time I've ever seen the movie Amityville.
Which one? There's like
the original Amityville.
Well, I've never seen the original Amityville. I've only seen the one with Ryan Reynolds.
The Omen, the original Omen, Halloween, Scream, all of these movies I've never seen till literally 2024.
Those were some good ones. I've never seen The Omen.
Omen's interesting. All right. Well,
I liked The Omen. I thought The Omen was good.
I had a couple of events this week. For one, I found out that I, along with most of the males on both sides of my family, suffer from gout.
Oh.
Always fun.
Scout sibling.
Woo! And then I tried to go to my friend's wedding, and traffic made me late, unfortunately. I did get to hang out with them for a little while, but unfortunately, I didn't make it for the actual ceremony.
Hey guys, guess what? I'm the friend. That's right. I
Yep,
got
Stolas
fucking
got
married
And I think
on
your wife
Halloween.
your wife's being a good influence on you if she's making you watch movies.
On Halloween.
Yeah, they're not allowed to let you watch Tombstone though, because we need to continue to have the. Is that the movie with the this town is too small for the two of us?
Tombstone, that's the movie. You know, this town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Oh, I'm sorry,
We-
Johnny. I forgot you were there.
We are 8 years into the podcast now, and I still have not seen Tombstone.
What?
That's
It's such a
absurd.
good movie.
What's wrong? I don't even like westerns.
I know.
It's a damn good movie.
It's got some of the best lines in it ever. I love it.
I'm your Huckleberry. That's
Yeah,
my
like
favorite.
this town ain't big enough for the two of us.
Whatever.
Classic Tombstone quote.
No, Luke, I'm your father.
They need to make this town bigger so we can both stay here. Yeah, so that was my nerdy thing. Erica,
I like how your nerdy thing was my wedding.
I wore a Supernatural t-shirt. I was in theme.
Well, I haven't been on for a while, so I have a list of nerdy things.
Lay 'em on us.
I watched all of the extended edition Lord of the Rings with Rowan,
Nice.
and she loved them. And as soon as they were done, she goes, "Can we watch them again?" And I said, "Absolutely."
I still get goosebumps at the charge of the Rohirrim at the Pelennor Fields. I still get goosebumps every time.
So, and then they decided they wanted to watch Harry Potter, and we made it to the fifth movie before they go, "Nah," and walked away. Which I feel like that just goes to show, like, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, which one wins? That has solved it. The 7-year-old has solved it.
Superior taste.
Superior.
She is a being of superior taste.
Yes, absolutely. And then she decided she wanted to watch it, the new one.
Oh.
Yeah, because she watched somebody on YouTube was making fun of Pennywise, so their friend was dressed up as Pennywise. And I said, "Honey, this is a really scary movie. I don't know if you want to watch it." And I'm
Yeah,
not even
that
sure I
is-
want to explain some of it to you.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
well, and I'm
legitimately, it's
terrified
pretty
of
scary.
clowns,
Same.
so I'm not sure how much I'm going to be helped, right?
I saw the Tim Curry one when I was her age.
The
Well,
Tim
yeah,
Curry
the
one
Tim
was
Curry one's
nowhere
not
near as
scary.
scary as I've seen the Tim Curry one. And I
I
don't
saw
like
it.
horror movies.
Well, to be fair,
Yeah.
I saw it too, and that it's not even a movie, it was like a TV series.
Yeah, it was a
That's-
miniseries.
That little miniseries is why I'm afraid of clowns.
Oh, see, I'm afraid of clowns because Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I know exactly what did it to me. But then I saw Tim Curry, but I had already seen Rocky Horror and Clue and Legend and all the other things, and he was so recognizable that I was like, "That's Tim Curry. He'd never hurt me. I love that guy." So I wasn't scared of the TV one, but the remake with the Skarsgård guy, yeah, that's fucking terrifying. So anyway, they decided on Halloween, because we were all sick, that they wanted to watch it. And I was like, "I don't think you do." And she was like, "Yeah, I do." And I was like, "I don't think you do." We got 40 minutes in, and it's when like the blood explodes all over the girl's bathroom. And she goes, "Nope, I'm out." So I was like,
That's great.
"All right,
That's
kid."
great.
Yeah.
That's so
Nope,
great.
I'm out.
Yeah. See, I was never phobically afraid of clowns. For me, it's ventriloquist dummies. I will
because of
nope.
What's his name?
I will nope the
Goosebumps?
fuck. No, it's
Night
not
of the
even what
Living
it's from.
Dummy?
No, my growing up as a kid, our neighborhood, my best friend's dad had an antique one on display in their house,
Oh no, hard pass.
and
That's so weird.
yeah, I will nope the fuck out if I see a ventriloquist dummy anywhere. I say nope.
So my clown story was, of course, I saw it. So, and I was pretty young. I was like 7. So, that definitely primed me to be scared of clowns. But then what I did is I went messing around in my mom's closet, and she had like a porcelain clown doll. And this was shortly after I saw it. And I opened the closet, and the fucking porcelain clown doll fell on me. And I was mortified afterwards, because I just saw it, like the mini series, and then this porcelain clown doll attacks me out of my mom's closet. Not okay. I'm not okay.
See, when I was
Yeah.
a kid, I was afraid of clowns because of Poltergeist.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brian. I didn't hear you. Say that again.
I said
Rose.
when I was a kid, I was afraid of clowns because of Poltergeist.
Oh, Poltergeist wasn't that scary.
Guess what movie I haven't seen?
Poltergeist.
To be fair, I haven't actually seen it either. I've seen reviews and stuff of it, so I know the scenes and I know what happens, but
if
I
you
haven't
wanna-
actually watched the movie.
Yet I would like you, Stolas, to see the Poltergeist remake with Sam Rockwell first, because I think that's a neat perspective to be able to see the remake first, because I saw the remake later. And I want to know if people think the remake is a good movie without the comparison.
That's
I
fair.
did see the Evil Dead remake.
I actually enjoyed the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah,
I
did
liked
too.
it.
They
I-
kept true to the original in the fact that the special effects are all practical. They set the world record for most fake blood used on a set.
That's great. A lot of people, at least I looked up online, didn't like it, but I was like, why? It's pretty good.
Well, to be fair, a lot of people didn't like it the first time too.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
a
yeah,
cult
but-
film
Well, to
for a
be fair,
long time.
the first one had a very awful scene that I heard about, and I'm like, ooh, I was really
Yeah.
worried when I heard about
Yeah,
that scene.
it's
I was
pretty
like, I don't
awful.
know. I don't know if I want to watch this movie.
I saw the second one first, which had me fall in love with the series, and then saw
Well,
the
the second
first
movie is
one.
almost a shot-for-shot remake of the first one. So...
Well, it doesn't have the awful scene. It
No, I
doesn't
know.
have
That's why I
any
said
of
it's
that.
almost
Yeah.
a shot-for-shot. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
they cut to black, thankfully.
yeah.
What was funny is
Also, the rape tree.
they did recreate the sexual assault tree
Yeah,
in
tree
the
that rapes.
remake. Yep, they did. They did include the tree in the remake, and the
Yeah,
tree
they
was
just-
more important in the remake.
Yeah, and they just like cut to black. Like they just kind of were like,
Yeah.
you don't need to see what happens. And I was like, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
So then the last nerdy thing
Mm-hmm.
was my mom decided to surprise me and took me to a festival that was an Alice in Wonderland Lights Festival. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen like entire parks decked out for like Christmas. They did
Yeah.
that, but they did
Yeah.
it for Alice in Wonderland. And it
That's
was
so
super
cool.
fun. And there was a puzzle. It was so funny, Brian, when you were talking. I was like, there was a puzzle there that I solved too, that you had to go through and solve the puzzle. And I went through and I solved the puzzle, and then I gave because you got a free gift when you solved it, and I gave it to these kids, this Mexican family. They didn't speak very good English, and we asked them if they had been doing the puzzle, if they wanted the answers, and they didn't quite understand us. So my mom and I just got our gifts and gave it to the little kids.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
That's cute.
That's nice.
Yeah, but it was really fun. Although I will have to say they had like all the music from the Tim Burton remake like blasting. They didn't use the original Disney. They used the remake music. Except for one area, they used Edward Scissorhands, the music from when the snow is falling at the end of the movie. And I was like, that's the wrong goddamn Tim Burton movie. You're wrong. And my mom's like, I don't think anybody else noticed.
Nope. Nope. I guarantee you no one else noticed.
Nobody cared.
So, anything
Brian-
else, Erica?
Nope. We're on to voting, and Brian, you went first, so you get to vote first. You get 5
I'm
widgets.
giving all 5 to Erica
Okay.
because those are actually legit nerdy things, and these are in sympathy for being sick.
Rowan has morphed into Erica in her seat. If you'd like to see what we're talking about, you can watch our video feed on patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio.
Yeah, and everybody who is watching, pay really close to Rowan's reaction as I say, love you first. Yeah.
I don't think she realized she was muted. Oh, that was funny.
Eric and our family have this game where every day you have to say love you first to win, and then you get love you second, and the kids get very competitive.
All right. So, Stolas, your turn to vote. You get 5 of them. Eric already got the first 5.
I'm gonna give 3 to you, David, because your nerdy thing was literally my wedding, so I think that's awesome. And then I'll give 1 to Brian and 1 to Erica.
Alrighty. My turn. I'm going to give Erica 3 of mine because being sick sucks. I'm going to give 1 to Brian and 1 to Stolas. And last but
then-
not least, Erica, you get your 5.
I'm going two to you, David, for
Thank you.
fighting traffic to go to Stolas's wedding.
Yeah, so I had to be there at 3:30. I left at 1:30 and got there 15 minutes late.
Yeah, it's California traffic is ridiculous. Because
I
here's the
went
thing,
less than 40 miles and it took me over 2 hours.
and we were joking because we're like, watch, David, if you had left at 1, you would have been there an hour early.
Oh, yeah, and I would have sat there for an hour.
I had a cousin meet me at the airport at LAX. I picked them up at LAX and I basically said, we could go home now and get there at 8, or we could go to the beach. And they were like, it's not going to take us 6 hours to get home. I'm like, yeah, it will. We can leave late and it'll only take 2.
Exactly. This is not the time to be driving. Let's go find something else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna give Brian 2 and Stolas 1, and then Rowan's giving all 5 to Brian.
Yay! Rowan called an audible.
Well, that makes us a tie. So I know a perfect tiebreaker, Erica. Love you first.
Love you.
Oh. All right, Brian. The widgets will be showing up sometime tomorrow.
Okay. The last one's got eaten by the bird, and that's why he's been screaming so much right now, I'm thinking. Yeah. He's just gonna start saying catchphrases from the show soon. Somebody take the topic on while I go kill a dog and a cat.
Okay, fine, I'll do it. So, there's this time of year called winter that people that live in other places than when myself and Stolas live have to deal with for a good chunk of the year. And so we're, trying to figure out how one does that and doesn't go stir crazy. Erica, you're the one that lives in the weather.
Yeah, what is winter like?
When does winter start? And I know winter technically starts on December 21st, but when does it feel like winter where you live?
That's about right. And then it goes until March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, like the end of March, to be quite specific. Sometimes it snows in April, so it's a little weird. But yeah, I mean, I'm over it. It doesn't bother me. Like the thing that bothers me the most is if I have to get in my car really quickly to go somewhere. That's just not a thing. Like I have to let the car warm up for 20 minutes. Otherwise, there's just going to be ice everywhere and, or it ices. Ice is the worst. Snow's fine. Snow melts, it gets dirty and slushy, and you just forget about it. Like if you've ever tried to break into a car that's covered in a sheet of ice, that's the worst. That's where you just go, never mind, it's not that important.
Does everybody have remote starters?
No, not remotely. Yeah, I think I know 2 people that have remote starters. It's because they're more of a pain than they are really helpful because you have to, they're aftermarket, right? So you have to go in afterwards and rewire the ignition switch and stuff like that, especially on new push button cars. It's just there's too many things that can go wrong with the electrical system and it's way too expensive. When I had a turnkey car, well, absolutely, because that wasn't a big deal. I had a stick shift, and worst case scenario, I could push it and shift it and turn it and then it would start. But, not with all the electrics. It's just not worth it.
We have a remote starter in our car, and I love it. It just being able to avoid having to defrost the window in the morning is just amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. I just walk out there and I get in the car and I turn it and then I walk out. And if somebody steals my car, I'll file an insurance claim. It's fine.
Yeah, it's been dipping into the 50s here. It's starting to get I had to close my window. It's starting to get a little chilly at night.
Oh my.
I know, it's been a week and I haven't had to have my fan on.
50 degrees.
33 degrees the other night and my window was wide open.
Yeah.
50 degrees is my that's the temperature that I always look for if I'm going to wear shorts when I go for a jog. If it's under 50, I wear sweatpants.
I still have my AC on, even if it is 50 degrees. I don't know. I like the cold air.
My big thing is outdoor activity. And it's I have been guilty of just not doing outdoor activity in the winter because where I am in the Pacific Northwest, we don't get a ton of snow. We have a snowy season, which is February. but we get mostly rain, and it just rains. And it's not like what people think of the Pacific Northwest of it's just raining all the time. It rains at some point during the day, and it rains like off and on all day. There rarely will get a no rain day. And if we do get a no rain day, it's raining somewhere else nearby.
I like the weather in the Pacific Northwest. I love the rain.
It's nice. It gets very gloomy. And it is hard to deal with. It's like sometimes you get a little bit of depression in the winter because it's like really gloomy all the time. And I mean, you get enough sun if you go outside. It's just the habit of not going outside when it's gloomy that's bad.
I would rather have that than thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are great because they're beautiful, but I get migraines from barometric pressure.
Oh,
And
wow. Yeah, that sucks.
for a thunderstorm to happen, there has to be a collision of a low pressure and a high pressure system. And when that happens, the barometric pressure shifts rather rapidly. And then
From one
I get a
extreme to the
migraine.
other.
Yeah, and I get a migraine every time. Every time.
The pressure differential doesn't sit right in your equilibrium, and I get the same thing sometimes.
Yeah, so having just steady rain because moisture is hitting the mountains and falling in the Pacific Northwest seems much, much nicer.
I did something in preparation for the winter this year. I went to the doctor and had my ears irrigated, and it was the best choice ever. It was just phenomenal. I did get a little
Did they
bit
just-
of, well, I'd had tinnitus and I didn't even know. So
Like, do they just spray like water in your ear? Like what?
It's
What
like-
is that?
So
it's like
your
saline water.
So you've been
Oh, okay.
irrigated. What crops are you planting?
It's that strip irrigation where they irrigate and strip at the same time.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna let them lie fallow.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I got like really
Farming joke.
bad
But tish,
on my
alright.
on my left ear. I got really bad vertigo,
Hmm.
which I guess is a rare thing that can happen when you get your ears irrigated.
I probably need to get mine cleaned out. It's been a while since I've had it done professionally.
It's nice. It's like nice. I'd done it by myself before, but it's much better to. I'd never done it at the doctor, and it was nice to do it at the doctor. But I had such bad vertigo that my doctor was like, "I don't have any more patients. You can lay down in this exam room and just close your eyes until 5 if you want." And I was like, "No,
That was
I'll
nice
walk
of him.
around." Well, I go to a naturopath, and it almost feels like a VIP experience. There's less clientele. If I can email my doctor if I want to, it's just nice. I mean, if I need to, I'll see an MD, and my naturopath is great. If something is something that I need to see an MD for, they'll let me know. It's not like just going to a woo-woo doctor. I'm actually going to a real doctor who acknowledges that naturopaths can do things that MDs can't, and MDs can do things that naturopaths can't.
Did you say a woo-woo doctor?
They're like a doctor
You've never
that
heard that
just
term before?
I have never heard that term before.
Yeah, like a doctor that just says rub dirt on it type of thing, or like
Oh,
hold
a
this
quack. Okay.
hold this crystal.
Yeah, a quack. Gotcha.
Right.
I went
right.
to a chiropractor who said that nobody should ever have cancer because wheatgrass exists, and I was like, you're wrong.
Oh, you're one of them crazy people. Okay.
Wow. I'd leave that office right away.
Yeah.
I think that particular I don't I don't want to disparage chiropractors because there's very good ones. I found a bad one. But at the same time, I was getting chiropractic treatment for free when I was going there. I wasn't paying for it because I was bartering computer repair services.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So
in that
it's
sense, you get
not-
what you pay for. So
Yes.
Right, that's not technically free.
that's what I'm saying. In that sense, you get what you pay for.
No, the value was that I used the chiropractor's social network and did bartering work with other people, and I had free dental work too.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, and I mean, no, it wasn't free because I was working, but
See, I've got a union job that has great benefits, so my
I
dental
had a
insurance is
dentist
awesome.
that I could call on a Sunday and would come in on a Sunday and do emergency dental for me
Mm-hmm.
because I was doing computer stuff. It was great.
Oh, that's nice.
That's pretty cool.
I will say this, it is a privilege to have a skill that you can use for this. So if you have
Right.
a privilege, if you have a skill that can be bartered, take advantage of it because you can get phenomenal perks if you have a skill you can barter with. I knew a guy, I used to go from business to business offering bartering services because it's amazing how well how many things you can get, and it's so much better than paying money. I met this guy who owned a sign shop who bartered for his house.
Hmm.
He offered advertising services to the company that was building a development, and in exchange for a house.
I'm sure they got their work. I'm sure they got their money's worth out of it.
Yeah.
Right. I was about to say marketing costs a lot of money. So if he knew what he was doing, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure they paid for the materials too.
It does cost a lot of money because I spend that money.
Right. Doesn't like a significant portion of like a company's budget go to marketing? Like a vast majority of it?
Yeah, I will tell you, I had a small panic attack the first time I had to use my corporate card to purchase some marketing services, and I signed my name on the dotted line for $157,000. Yeah,
so
and it's
insane,
not my
dude.
money, and I knew it wasn't my money, but I had a very small heart attack.
That's 6 digits. Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's like who was it? Wahlberg was talking about making movies and how it's changed so much over the past I'm sorry, no, it was Matt Damon that was talking about this. He goes, making movies has changed so much over the past. You spend 25 million on a movie, you're going to spend 25 million on advertising.
Dude, gaming has that problem right now. Like video games these days, a lot of times, a lot of video games cost like tens of millions to even being over 100 million, and like over 50% of that money is marketing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we live in an information age and you're fighting for every second of attention you can get from somebody. So it's more expensive than it used to be. That's for sure.
What's funny is I tend to be the person who, if a streamer I watch often does sponsored content, I love that because I want to watch the new game that's coming out. I do that all the time, unless they're playing some pay-to-win mobile game, and then I go, now, thank you.
Streaming does see a boost every
Oh,
winter
yeah,
because all the
nah.
people that stay inside.
Yeah, I was going to say that same thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch I don't like those mobile games either.
Yeah.
So
I don't
yeah,
play any, you know what, for somebody that loves games like I do, I refuse to play a game on my phone.
Yeah, I don't even.
I
I won't
played.
do it.
I play a game called Two Dots, and it's a puzzle game. I don't. It's not a.
so
No.
I used to play games like that. Go
The
on,
only
go on,
game
Monica.
I have on my phone is crossword puzzles because my husband and I like to do crossword puzzles when we're like
Yeah.
waiting at a restaurant or something like that. But I won't play any sort of like games on my phone.
Yeah, I used to play like kind of like gotcha games. I had to stop because like I can't control myself. I don't have the willpower. I just don't. That's just the thing about me that I learned about myself, and I had to be like, I can't do this. I'm spending hundreds of dollars a month on some stupid little mobile game that isn't even that good or even that fun. So I was like, I need to stop this.
Years ago, when I got my first tablet, I wasn't familiar with games and microtransactions in mobile games, and I put a whole lot of money into Simpsons Tapped Out and went, this needs to stop, and I'm never playing any game like this ever again because I'm not getting anything out of what I'm paying the money for. So I went back from it, and it was so funny because recently they announced that Simpsons Tapped Out is getting shut down after it's been active for so freaking long. And in the article, it talked about it as one of the first gotcha games. And I was like, holy crap.
Well, yeah, a lot of those games actually end up failing because
Well, it
another
didn't
gotcha
fail.
game.
I would say a game
Yeah.
that ran over 10 years did not fail.
Well, but like my point, well, at least nowadays they get ran through a lot because like they kind of like they just like get like they end up what ends up happening is so they'll get a lot of whales, and the whales are the people who basically fund the game. But what happens is the 99% of everybody else who's just like a normal player who maybe spends $5 a month, the game's not very fun for them. It's not very entertaining because they don't get most of the content because they don't have the thousands of dollars to spend a month on it. So then you end up losing that large portion of the gamers, and they leave to go play other games. And then the whales don't have anyone to kind of like fuck around with. So then they move to a different game. So like these whales will move to game to game to game to game, spending money so that they could kind of dunk on like most people. And so these games don't do very well because, well, oddly enough, their greed is kind of just, it destroys the fun of their game, and then nobody wants to play.
I love how the whole topic was like winter and indoor activities and like avoiding them and stuff. And it's like, yeah, no, we're just gonna talk about video games. I'm okay with that.
I mean, another fun indoor activity is like board games, tabletop games, things like that. D&D, 40K. Those are all super fun indoor games that I love playing
I
personally.
remember when I was playing in-person role-playing games, we would often play outside and had all the different tactics for keeping our papers from blowing away.
Mm-hmm.
One of my best creepy memories is we were playing outside. It was Easter. It was the middle of the night, and the creepiest fog I've ever seen in my life rolled in.
Mm.
And there was moaning coming from it. And I don't know if it was, we were because our imaginations were heightened because we were playing a role-playing game,
Mm-hmm.
but it was the scariest thing I've ever seen. There was a hand shaped out of fog coming around the corner.
Creepy.
When I went back to school on Monday, everybody talked about the creepy fog, and I was like, "Oh, we did not imagine the creepy fog." Even other people were
That's
like,
pretty weird.
they heard moaning coming out of it.
Oh, wow. That is weird.
And then Stephen King's The Mist came out just a few years later, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
Dude, that movie, wow, what a fucking trip. And that ending, ugh.
Oh my God, you saw something, Stolas.
I did see The Mist. Okay, I got a funny Mist joke. Okay, so I had this friend in college who saw The Mist with his mom and his uncle. And his mom and his uncle are like these stoners who are they're just constantly on drugs and they're not very bright people. So my friend had convinced his mom and his uncle that the voice actor for the giant crab monster in the background of The Mist was Will Smith. So they were like looking through all the like actors to see who was in the movie, and they're like, Will Smith isn't in this movie.
You've made this joke before and you've never explained it.
Oh well,
You've made up that Will Smith played the crab monster. You've told that joke before and you've never explained it until now.
yeah. It was literally a lie my friend told his stoner mom and uncle.
Now, I did a gotcha game for a little bit. I played a cookie clicker, which I think is one of the funniest like commentaries about gotcha games, where the entire point of the game is you tap on your screen on a cookie to make cookies. And then after you make enough cookies, you can spend them as currency to buy like factories and stuff.
Huh.
But as the game goes on, you're bartering with eldritch horrors to make cookies and sending people to space to the cookie mines on Uranus, and then you have grandmas making cookies that get changed into wrinklers, which are worms. It's such a weird game. I think it's sort of a satirical commentary on gotcha games, but at the same time, it is one.
Does it count as a gotcha game if the currency in the game you get it within the game?
Well, you can pay money to get the currency
Oh,
too.
you can pay money. Okay. Then yes, that makes it a gotcha.
Yeah, Rowan and I had a conversation about this not even 2 days ago because they're playing games on my tablet and there were like ads and stuff and she was like, "Well, I'm not spending the real money." And I'm like, "Well, that's good." I was like, "Because we only spend real money on games you can come here for this conversation. This is about you." Yeah. Because in games like that, once the game's gone, it's gone. Like we only spend money on games that are ours, that we are going to keep and be able to play forever.
Right.
And she was like, "Oh, well, that makes sense."
I booped to both of you through the camera.
Aw.
Aw.
Yep, see, Stolas, no camera. You didn't get booped.
That's okay. I get enough boops from my own kids. Oh, I've been booped, I guess.
He's booping both of you.
Thank you for the boo.
Thank you.
Speaking of my children, my baby's awake.
No,
I can hear
I'm
her
invisible.
making noises.
No, I'm invisible. No.
Oh, I must have picked a bad topic.
Why?
Because we're just tangenting.
Well, I mean, we go on tangents all the time. That's something
Yeah.
new.
No, I'm okay with it. Yeah, the whole gotcha game thing is really weird. I did grow out of it though. Like after the whole Simpsons tapped out, it's like I've played them after, and it's like I don't see the point of spending money. I think I played some of those Blizzard games where you could buy cosmetic skins, and I never got that. Like if it didn't have any mechanical benefit, I was sort of like, well, I guess it's good that there's no pay to win, but at the same time, I don't really care.
See, I actually don't hate the skin thing, like, because
Yeah.
it's just making your character look cool. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't
I
have an
actually-
issue with it. I just wouldn't do it because it's like I don't it doesn't like reward me in any way. It's just like I'm spending money to on an imaginary thing, but I understand that some people appreciate it.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but I enjoy it more when it's something like
Like a unicorn.
okay, Rowan. Thank you. I love you.
Like you.
Love you,
Anyway,
Rowan.
um, I enjoy it because it's fun to be able to switch out your outfits and stuff like that when you're
Mhm.
playing games. But I have to say the one that I really enjoyed was Apex because you would buy a season, which would then unlock the ability for you to earn those. You didn't just like purchase them, which is what I really enjoyed. So
That's cool.
you had to play the season and you had to get so far in the season, and as you got so far in the season, you want to unlock different outfits and stuff. So that made it made the game more fun in that you were constantly like trying to get to the next tier to get the pieces. So I enjoyed that. I thought that was a really nice balance between, purchasing skins and then adding additional like challenges and stuff. So
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I like that system. That's a neat system.
yeah.
I think the worst one recently was the Diablo gotcha game that came out for the mobile. Oof,
Oh, that's
dude,
been notorious
it's
since it was announced.
so bad. Oh, it's like the worst that like because they've taken every awful gotcha mechanic from multiple games and put it into one game, and then they invented new bad gotcha mechanics that no other game has, and it's like, what
Wasn't
the
it just a
fuck?
reskinned existing game too? Like they just took
Oh
a
yeah, it's like the
Chinese
lazy.
game and
Yeah, it's like the
yeah.
laziest thing ever. It's the laziest thing ever, dude. What the fuck happened to Blizzard, man? They were such
I
a
don't
cool
know. I
company.
just gave them $90 for a mount and wow. So
Gonna
What
be me,
mount
man.
did
I'm
you
done with
get?
that game.
they came out with a Brontosaurus that has an auction house and a mailbox on it. And the only other mount that had an auction house on it was released 2 expansions ago, and it at the time cost 5 million gold.
I remember. I remember.
I didn't have enough gold to buy that one, so when they came around for real money, I just spent the real money and bought the shop mount.
It's so funny that we're talking about this because this is what I've been doing while we've been talking. You want to see this? You can't
No.
see
No,
it.
I can't see it.
no, it's green screening.
Oh, hold on. You can see my dirty background, I guess. Hold on. No,
It's
that
just
just
blur.
blurred it.
Well,
There we go.
my thing,
I
like,
love how
here we
it's
go.
just the most normal background ever. I
Nice.
gotta click on you so I can. You're looking at tarot cards.
Well, yeah, I'm going through and I'm highlighting and going through and I don't want to say relearning tarot, but getting better acquainted because it's been a while since I've really done any readings. And so I'm going through here and I'm actually talking about or reading the Four of Pentacles as we're doing this, which is all about spending money and greed,
That
which I thought was really funny.
is an interesting coincidence.
I was sitting here like, dude, oh, this is kind of like right where we are. All right, continue.
So, other than gaming, the other indoor thing that at least I enjoy doing, I love playing like tabletop games. And as I mentioned before, I'm getting into a new one, the Trench Crusade, right? So my partner's also getting into it because they saw some of the models and now they want to play. So soon, I think around December, which is funny because, Christmas time, we're going to be getting like the STL files to like print out the models. I don't have a 3D printer, but there are places I can go to get things 3D printed. And we're going to do the whole print out models and paint them and play games. I love doing things like that. Those are fun. And it's kind of hard to play these kind of games outside. That's my baby. She's talking. Really? Oh my goodness.
If you have an opportunity to, listeners, check out the images for Trench Crusade. When the models actually come out, they're going to be quite amazing. I think they look more grimdark than any other grimdark game. I really do.
No, yeah, it is a pretty grim dark game. There's like I think one other game that's like maybe a little bit more grim and dark, literally called The Hate. But that game is a very niche game. Like that game has like rules for like torture and like sexual assault. So it's like it's not a game for most people. This game doesn't do that, but it is a pretty gruesome game. The mechanics of the game are pretty simple. which I mean, I don't hate.
I think the image of the artillery witch is one of the coolest piece of artwork I've seen in a very long time, where it's just a witch levitating a nuke.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a very cool looking game. Oh, they released a stat block for the artillery witch.
Yeah, yeah, they have all the rules out. You can. Oh, that's a neat thing about the game. The rules will be free. Like you don't have to pay for rule books. You don't have to pay for codexes. Games Workshop.
Oh, they released a miniature image for the artillery witch too. How in the hell did they get the bomb to float?
It's probably on a
like
clear
it's
plastic
like
piece.
No, it's like a plastic smoke. It's kind of like a plasticky smoke.
Yeah, it's resting on the smoke.
Yeah, if you go to their Kickstarter, they actually have images of the models. You can actually see what the models look like.
Oh,
now.
it's not even on smoke. It's just touching another part of the model, and with perspective, it's hard to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then of course painting is a whole other set of thing. Like there's so many cool things you could do. Like a neat trick I really want to learn to do with miniature painting is there's this thing called NMM, which it means non-metallic metallic. So there are metallic paints you can get, but the thing about them is they have like mica pigments. So it just kind of makes your whatever you're painting look just kind of shiny. It doesn't really kind of get across that like the realistic way that metal kind of like reflects light. So there are people who will paint in very specific ways using non-metallic paints, just using basic acrylic paint to make it look like metal reflecting a light surface back at you. And it's really cool and interesting looking, and it's very technical and difficult to do. I would love to learn how to do it one day.
I played with it a little bit at a oh, David, help me out here. What's the thing that Reaper does at cons? Paint and take.
No,
Paint and take. I thought of
yeah.
it. Yeah, I did a little bit. They had a little lesson on non-metallic stuff.
My secret was just mix a little fine glitter into your gunmetal colored paint, and it gives it that metallic like sheen in the light. You don't need much, just a little bit.
Oh, you don't want to use too much, or it just looks glittery.
Yeah, but just that little bit adds that little metallic sparkle when you're looking at it.
Most paint companies just add mica, like little bits of mica in it. That's what most companies.
I get a very fine glitter in small quantities from like Michael's, and just use a little tiny scoopful in the whole pot.
David, do you have any experience with metal miniatures? I know that part of the hobby hasn't been as big as it used to be.
Yes, I have some experience. The hardest part is while you should primer your plastic minis, you have to primer your metal minis.
Oh yeah, you can't not primer those.
And you have to use good primer. You can't use cheap primer. Cheap primer is the death of minis. Honestly, if you're going to spend money on paint, buy good primer.
Also, metal minis last longer if they don't last as long if they're not painted, right?
Correct.
I think I still have Matt's minis from Warhammer, the Dark Elves.
Nice.
I think they were metal.
Yeah, those are all pewter or lead.
Yeah, because I remember they were a bitch to paint.
Yeah. Well, I actually have friends that back in like the 70s made casts of a whole bunch of mini ranges for all kinds of different games and different styles and different sizes. And whenever they need troops, they just buy some base lead and make them themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going down rabbit holes on my phone. I'm going to stop doing that. I was looking at, I typed in metal minis, and of course Temu popped up, and there was like a million things you can get on Temu that look cool.
Yeah. My last true metal mini was I had a for the Lord of the Rings miniatures game, I had a Balrog that I had assembled. But it was metal body and plastic wings. I was in the process of putting the green stuff all over it to smooth out the lines, and it got put away, and I haven't seen it since.
I don't think it's behind me. I was really annoyed when the Pathfinder pre-painted minis came out, and they redesigned the Yeti, and it made the Yeti look like a werewolf.
Oh, yeah.
And I liked the old Yeti, which was just like a big pile of white fur with red eyes. And a friend of mine took the Yeti and used Sculpey to change it into the old style Yeti. So nice. I have one.
That's pretty cool.
The more badass Yeti, and it's painted and has the red eyes. And
that's awesome.
I don't know why they changed them into these like blue werewolves.
Because they wanted to look more modern for the artists that drew them in the book. That's what they looked like.
More gritty.
I find that it's very easy to go indoor in the winter. especially here. I know you guys out in California, it's like we're just indoor kids all the time, but it's like when it's harder to do things outside, it's amazing how much you miss it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think people who grew up here just don't care and they spend more time out. Since I came from California to here, it's harder to get used to, where it's like you can tell who moved here from somewhere else by the people who have umbrellas.
I still don't
That makes
have
sense.
any umbrellas.
When I lived in New
It's
York,
weird for me
it
to be
rained.
like, I need
Yeah.
to take an umbrella somewhere. Like, I'm like, oh, it's raining. I guess I'll get wet.
But
Like,
if I'm gonna like go to an outdoor concert in the winter, because there's a lot of that stuff for like holidays,
Yeah, but
I want an umbrella because I have to stand still for an hour.
yeah.
If I'm walking, I don't mind if I get a little wet, but if I'm standing still, I'd like to have an umbrella. And then we have to find one because, it's like we rarely use them.
I actually don't own one. I've got a big waterproof coat with a hood I can wear.
You know what's a really funny thing we do in California is we go out to go to places where there is cold and snow. That's what we do in California.
Yeah.
We leave to go find the cold, to go find the snow.
It wasn't there even like an advertising campaign for a while where it was like California where you can go surfing and skiing in the same day.
Yeah. You can start the day at the beach in the waves, and then end the day skiing the slopes in the mountains.
I think California, the state of California, probably has the most biomes of like anywhere. Like we even have a rainforest.
Yeah,
Did you know
we
that?
kind of cover it all.
California has a rainforest.
It also has the lowest place in the world.
And one of the highest.
Yeah.
Like, there are very few biomes you can't get in California. I'm sure there may be a few. Kind of like we don't have like do we have
don't
a
have
coral
any
reef?
We don't have any tundra.
Do we have a
yeah, I was
coral
gonna
reef?
say, you don't have any tundra.
Right, we don't have tundra.
No,
I
we
think
don't. The waters around here are not warm enough for
Well,
coral
not warm
reef.
enough, right? Water's too cold. Yeah.
I think California does have coral.
Okay, it might, but we're not famous for it.
No, I don't. The reason why I'm thinking it, I'm double checking, but when I was a kid, I did a Catalina trip, and I think there's a coral reef in Catalina.
I know there's kelp fields. I don't know about a coral reef, but
Yes, California has coral reefs. It has deep sea ones.
then yes, we've got just about everything. We do not have tundra.
Just not tundra.
We
But
do not have Arctic conditions.
you gotta go to Alaska for that.
I do have to say, I think I went to when I lived in California, I went to Catalina in October, and we went swimming.
I've lived here
son.
I've lived here my entire life. I've never been to Catalina.
It's
interesting.
There's a lot of effort to go to Catalina. Have you been there, Stolas?
I wouldn't say I've been like to the island, but I know I've been near it for somebody's birthday.
When I was in 7th grade, our school did a trip, like a 3-day trip there where we like camped out and went snorkeling and stuff and did night hikes. And it was a really cool thing to experience. But it was one of those things that as an adult, I was like, I should go back to Catalina someday. And I never did.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. But they have bison roaming the island, and you can take glass bottom boats like out into the area around the island, and you'll see bison that fell off the cliffs into the water.
Yeah, it does have one of the only remaining natural bison herds.
When I was there was a great white shark spotting not too far away, and we had to keep on getting updates like, we can go swimming here because the great white shark is on the other side of the island. So every time we went snorkeling, I just pictured this giant shape coming out of the darkness.
Dun 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 dun.
They were not alarmed at all. There were precautions they had to take, but I mean, nobody feared the shark showing up.
No.
It was funny because there was a dead seal spotted when we were doing our tour, and everybody assumed that the seal had gotten hit by the great white. But then there was a whole police investigation because they discovered that the seal had a bullet hole in its head.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild, dude.
Never found out what happened. But I do remember that was a very eventful 3 days.
Sounds like it. It's
I
crazy.
think
That's
growing
insane.
up in California made it so I wasn't afraid of fish in the ocean. Because I will say this, when swimming as a kid in California, talking about kelp fields, every time I would feel something against my leg, I was like, oh, must be seaweed. Oh, must be seaweed. Oh, must be seaweed. Because you can't see. The water's
No.
too dark. You
Yeah.
can't see anything in the Pacific.
At least
Yeah,
not
yeah.
around here.
Yeah, the
Well,
water's pretty dark.
there was that time we went to Oceanside that I watched the stingray brush your leg, and you were like, "Must be seaweed."
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, must be seaweed. But change that to I went and visited my friend when she lived in Florida, and you can see the water very clearly and all the fishes swimming around your feet. And she's like, oh, Erica, get in. Da, 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 da. I'm like, no, those fish are going to eat my toes. Have you lost your mind?
Dude,
So-
Florida, I kind of want to go to Florida just to go to their beaches because I heard their beaches are crazy warm, but they're
They're
getting
warm.
warmer.
They're so warm and beautiful and lovely in crystal clear water that I do not want to swim in because I can clearly see the animals that are swimming around me, and
I
I
think
do
they're-
not enjoy that whatsoever.
I think their water's getting too warm now. I think I'm not sure if it was this summer or last summer, but like their waters have gone up to 90 degrees. And I'm like, oh, that sounds hot, not warm. I don't know if I'd want to be in that water.
I don't know. I went to the Bahamas and it was nice. The water was nice. So it wasn't 90 degrees though.
I grew up in New York, and the water was always warm in the summer. And then moved to California. It's strange how cold the water is. I got used to it, but it was a weird thing because you didn't go to the beach. You didn't go in the water when the water was cold.
Okay,
But in
yeah, no.
California, the water's always cold.
Yeah, no, it was this summer. Yeah, on July 9th. So I looked it up, 2024. The whatever the name of this place is, the water got up to 90 degrees. Last year, it took until mid-July for the water in South Florida to hit 100 degrees. What?
When the water gets that hot, fish have trouble getting oxygen, so you end up with big fields of dead fish.
Yeah.
Global warming.
Yeah, well,
Hey.
it's something I grew up with in New York because you'd go to the beach and you'd go swimming, and then all of a sudden you'd see a bunch of dead fish, and it was like gross.
Are you guys excited for the prospect that due to global climate change that the states you guys live in are probably going to get flooded with a bunch of people like in the next coming years because like people like me who live in Southern California, it's going to become unbearably hot and we're going to have to flee up north?
No, not particularly now that you bring it up.
Yeah, you guys are going to get flooded with like refugees and all kinds of people.
I guess
That's
I
gonna
better
be fun.
start buying property.
Actually, like legit though, that's probably good investment. I'm not even lying. That's probably really good investment.
Although I would like to circle back to the fact that we're talking about things to do in winter, not in the summer. Just bringing us back.
No, yeah.
Well, it's just an interesting thought because I'm like winters are getting like warmer and warmer. Like
I spent a week.
It's not true here. We've been having more and more ice storms, which is like unusual here.
I
well,
spent
that's true.
Ice is awful.
Sorry, David.
Yeah, that's why I spent a week in Minnesota in January one year, and holy shit, I saw enough snow and dealt with enough snow to never want to deal with it again.
I had another friend who lived near there for a while, and we were watching Fargo together. And there's that scene where the sheriff meets the guy dressed in like double parkas, and the guy's like, "Looks like the cold's coming," and he was like, "Yep, it's just like that."
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. The joke about the Canadian guys. How cold's it get up here? Oh, minus 40. Is that Celsius or Fahrenheit? He goes, doesn't matter.
No, once it gets so cold, it doesn't matter anymore. I will say, when I was living in Ohio, it got so cold that we would it's like in like negative 15 outside, and we would take cups of hot water outside and throw it in the air just to watch it evaporate before it hit the ground. Because I was like, look at this shit, science.
Yep.
I think that's like the best example of like winter activity is like enjoying the weather. I, as an adult here, the snow we've experienced has always been so icy that it's like, don't go outside. And I live in a city that if it snows, the entire city shuts down because historically this area doesn't get a lot of snow or ice, so they don't have the infrastructure in place for it, and we don't have continual plowing, so you can't go to work when it's snowing. But
Which
the
is
nice thing is we
mind-boggling
have,
because in Ohio, when we were in Ohio, it was like, are we at a level 1, a level 2, or a level 3 emergency? And the only time you didn't go to work or the only time you didn't go to the store or leave is a level 3. And that's only because if you hit a level 3 snow emergency, you could get a ticket for being outside.
well, it's like in the winter in New York, they plowed the road before I woke up. Like it didn't matter how hard it snowed. We rarely got snow days for school,
Yeah.
and I would ride my bike to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was never bad. And then you move out here. I moved out here and it's like they don't plow the roads like until it's over. That's nuts.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Well,
What?
the entire state's probably got 5 plows.
Well, they don't sand or salt the roads here too. They actually did start salting some roads because I mean it's crazy not to when the entire city shuts down if you don't. But I think because salting the roads is so bad for the environment, they always voted against it. But they're actually starting to salt some of the more higher traveled ones. But like my little housing track road doesn't get salted and it may get plowed. But most of the winter here, it's my main outdoor activities are jogging in the rain, riding my bike in the rain, which is fine.
It actually helps cool you off as you get working up a sweat.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
I do have to learn how to deal with it with glasses though. There's a thing I need to get
fogging up your glasses. Yeah,
not fog, just water. You can get a little windscreen that attaches to a bike helmet and it'll stop the water from getting on your glasses.
There's
That's pretty neat.
there's a cleaner you can buy that gives it the water will just bead right off.
Oh, I have
Yeah,
to
the
find out what
Rain-X
that stuff.
stuff.
Rain-X
Oh, that's
stuff?
neat.
Yeah, Rain-X will do it. Yeah.
That's neat.
Oh, I'll
You
have
just
to
give them a
get that.
spray and wipe it on before you go out and you're fine.
Oh, I'll
Yeah.
have to do that. I'm still learning how to wear glasses.
Yeah. I've been wearing glasses since I was 5.
I could
So-
probably ride without them. I'm just a little scared too because my glasses give me depth perception.
Right. Yeah, it's important to have them on.
Yeah. When I do chores in the yard, I usually take them off, but I'm not so bad that I'm gonna like cut off my foot with a shovel.
Yeah, I mean, you do you. Me, I can only see about 8 inches from my face without them, so I have to have my glasses on.
I see just fine without my glasses. I'm farsighted. It's really when I'm looking at things up close.
Yeah, you and I
That's
are
one difference.
you and I are exact opposites.
See,
Yeah.
my problem, like I'll take them off right now. I just get so disoriented. I can see after a while. My eyes have to adjust. Like right now everything's very like blurry with like flashing colors, but they're focusing in and I'm able to see, but it's making me a little dizzy because
That's
my
crazy.
depth perception is so different with them on than when they're off.
I see just fine without my
I
glasses,
I
which is
just
both
found out.
a good and a bad thing. It's good because if I lose them or break them or something happens to them, the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to get a headache trying to read a screen or a book or something like that.
Right.
The bad part is because I don't need them. I find myself doing what mom does a lot, Brian. I do this, and you go, where'd my glasses go? I do it all the time. I lose them all the time. That's why I
I just
have
found
5
out-
pairs.
I just found out recently I have astigmatism. I
Mhm.
I didn't know that lights didn't do that thing
They
that
don't.
astigmatism does.
I didn't know that either, Stolas. I didn't know that either. I have a slight astigmatism in my left eye, and I thought everybody saw light sparkle like that.
Right. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, all lights have beams like that. That's why when people draw
No,
the
they
sun,
don't.
they draw the sun with
Yeah.
like beams. And I was
Nope.
like, and
Just
people
not
were like,
true.
no, that's not what light is supposed to look like. And I was like, oh, uh-oh.
A while back, I was hiking with a friend every weekend, and we started to have oh, it's raining, we'll have to figure something else out. And then one day we were just like, let's just take the trail anyway in the rain.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, yes, this is more dangerous than if it wasn't raining, but let's just be careful. And we were fine.
Congratulations, you have reached a level of fuck it.
That was the day I got stabbed in the face with the tree branch, but it didn't have anything to do with the rain.
See, my
It's just-
only concern
It's just
about
a weird sentence.
I mean, snitches get stitches.
flash flooding is the only thing I think you have to worry about. stuff like that? Like, how hard is the rain going to come down?
This was before I had my glasses. My hiking buddy went under the branch first, and I didn't see the branch like coming out, and I didn't duck enough and just walked right into it. And the branch hit me right under my eye, right here. And
Ooh.
it was bad. Like, we were worried we were going to have to go to the hospital. So we left, and then I went to urgent care. And I don't remember if I had a stitch. I think I did. I think I had a stitch.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite dad jokes. Guy walks into a bar. Ouch.
David. You know what I said earlier to Chris, and the more I thought about it, the more it seems to be true. It seems like the people that appreciate really dark humor or make really dark humor jokes have been through some shit. And it's the people that have the appreciation and are really great at dad jokes are the ones you're like, no, they're probably emotionally stable human beings.
Yeah. So I actually signed up on Amazon for the Apple TV trial. I watched all 3 seasons of Ted Lasso in like 4 days.
Oh, it's such a good show.
And then unsubscribed.
Oh,
it was so good. I really
You didn't watch Shrinking? You should have watched Shrinking too.
No, I didn't. I just watched Lasso.
Oh, it's got Harrison Ford on it, a comedy show. It's so good.
I will have to come up with a new email address and get another free trial
and
watch it real quick.
We do not endorse this.
No, of course not.
But we all do it.
No, I endorse it.
Yeah, that show was so good.
I think I was like had the intentions of doing the trial scumming thing to watch something, and then I just kept it because I liked what was on there. I think I only did it once. But we got Apple TV for Ted Lasso, and then we watched Shrinking.
Okay.
And then we watched, there's another show. They're all made by the same producer. I can't think of the other show. There's Shrinking and Ted Lasso, and there was one other good Apple TV show.
Well, I hate to cut this short, but I don't know about you guys, but I do actually have to go. I have to feed my kids lunch.
No worries. We're going to end the episode anyway, so we can do a short bonus episode so our sick co-host can get some rest. But I will say thank you, Stolas, and I'll also say thank you guys for the rambling thing. I think I didn't pick a great topic. I think we had a nice conversation, but I don't think it was a good topic. I think no.
Hey, you know, they're not all going to be winners.
Yeah, you lose sometimes. I want to be honest about it. I'm not like beating myself up about it because I think it's better than just making something up on the fly. But
we had fun, and that was a great conversation.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you. My name is Super Brand. I'm joined by David the Evolved III.
Bye, everybody.
Stolas and Erica.
Bye.
Stay nerdy, stay informed, and stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
Listening to our new show. Podcast Radio.